Welcome everybody to the second match of Group 1, or Group A I should say. Today it's Elquijote+Abhimanyu versus Sdn and Archreaver. I'm gonna have to be a little bit more silent today than yesterday, but I'm still gonna cast the game and I'm looking forward to seeing it get started. We're currently in the draft phase, so teams are still picking their civilizations. Alright. Alright, and we have some more Civ picks coming out right here. Not too surprising so far, but at least we get something fresh from yesterday. It's not all old stuff. Alright, and I'll set up the map in the meantime. Okay. Interesting stuff. Alright. Alright, yeah. It's taking a bit of time here in the draft phase currently because Abby had to take a phone call, but yeah. The last pick is surely gonna be made sooner rather than later. Alright. Interesting stuff, my god. Interesting. I hope everything is fine and good. Seems to be a little bit of an issue here with... Yeah, I hope... And this should be fine. This should be... All right, and we're about to get into it. Exciting stuff right here. Some new civs that we've not always, or not yet, seen like that in the tournament. Mhm. All right, we have some second guessing here going on from Abby. It's fine. It's all good. People second guessing here. Abi was about to pick the Aztecs, but was then worried that they had no agriculturals in their team. Okay. Never mind. He's recommitted to the Aztecs. But, yep, he has made his choice. And here we go, loading into the game. I'll show you real quick. Switch the scene. All good. And finally, here we are. Loaded into the game. Oops. Yep. Looking fine for you guys, I hope. And yeah, I've made some changes here. Most importantly that I'm not, I don't have auto select units for multiplayer turned on. So yeah, that's a thing. To prevent the units from constantly, well, the screen from constantly moving just because I'm scouted. Interesting. This is a very different start than many people would have probably expected, because yeah, I've not typically done a start like this, but people will have to do with what they get, and it's not like it's terribly unbalanced or anything. But yeah, it seems like everybody has chosen to move off of the wheat that they spawned on, which is not a bad choice, I would say. So, yep, here we go. All right. Let me just advertise the stream in the Steam group real quick. Okay, interesting. People have not muted me, at least not Abby and Elk. The other guys might have. Don't really know about that. Okay. Do we have any info? Yep, we see all the scouts that are currently roaming the map. There's the Inca scout over here, just trying to get some vision to figure out where to plant. And we have the Zulu scout who has actually headed north, because probably he saw the cow, that's why he went up north. Okay, for the time being though, I think I'll turn auto select units back on just for the early game, because that'll make it easier. Alright, and game is back underway. Second turn has started, and therefore the action will begin. Okay, let's see what people are doing with their starts. Aztecs have planted. Not being angry forces them, doesn't force them to walk towards the river further, so that's something. Zulu, interestingly, also having opted for actually staying home. or planting on the spot and not expanding further towards or walking further towards the river. My God. But yeah, we can see the two opponent civs, the agri civs here. They have decided to walk all the way to the river, which is probably a wise decision for them. And interesting, yeah, people starting to figure out that it's probably looking about the same for everyone. The one downside I have with this map is that it incentivizes people to, well, walk backwards towards the river, and therefore it creates a bigger distance between the opposing civs. But other than that, this is a pretty, yeah, this is a bit of a closer map than the previous ones. They both went for river and moved to. That's some excellent analysis here from Abby. Spot on with that. Yeah, it'll be interesting. We have two very aggro civs in one team early. That's not what we've had so far. Yeah, he ends up being right that this map greatly benefits civs that have what is it? Agri, of course. Yeah, it's a good river start, and they didn't pick any agri civs. But that's unfortunate for them, and I chose the map before they chose their civs, obviously, so it's not like I could have tempered or anything. Yeah, the barb issue seems to persist still, but at least I warned them beforehand this time, so that's a plus, I guess. Oh yeah, that's the Inca Scout. The Inca Scout probably taking the middle route here, as opposed to the Zulu Scout, which has opted for a northern route just to find his teammate. But yeah, it seems to be fine so far. Nobody has gotten fucked over by the barbs terribly hard, and that's already some progress made compared to yesterday's games. So I'm good with that. I can't really complain. Stream is running fine too, it seems. So yep, we're all good here. All right. Yeah, as I said, the scouts are making the way over to their respective team partners, I suppose. Maybe the Inca are instead looking for a more offensive scouting way and trying to find some enemies. There are not many huts on this maps this time around. We have 3 huts, I think. There's this one, this one. Oh, it's 4 huts. Okay, it's 2 huts each between the players. Okay. Yeah, still. I might just remove parts from the game or put them further away from the starting logs, but I'm a fan of them, so I'm gonna keep them around and collect some more feedback from all the different players in the tournament before I decide to take any hard measures on them, as opposed to the barbarian threat where I'm clearly on board with the players complaining that I'm gonna have to yeah, still probably change that a little bit. But yeah, as it stands, things are going quite fine. Quite fine indeed. The game has progressed and nobody has complained terribly much about their starting spot or any mechanics here. This is, of course, godlike land for the Celts. The only downside is that their iron might be a little far, but luckily for them, the Zulu are not close enough to deny it from them. If I'm right about that, I decided to change up these iron locations earlier today because I didn't quite think that they were fair. I didn't have these two on the map, and in that way, I think it's better like this because at least now the Celts have a realistic chance of hooking iron before getting swarmed by Aztecs. Let's see where the scouts are. Maybe the Inca scout has opted for a different route up here. I'm not sure. Let's check where this guy is. He might have. Yeah, maybe, I think he's on the hut or something. I don't know. But yeah, unlucky of course for Elk. He used his early scout to get over to Abbey, but there was no huts on this way. I deliberately placed the huts only between the players, so yeah, there was a realistic chance for anyone to get any hut. Con next turn, that is absolutely right. I cannot imagine the same thing being true for the Incans. And yes, there actually was the hut being popped, but no settler came out of it, so people aren't gonna tear my head off from that. First team getting contact is the northern team here, which is of course to be expected from more early game sieves, but actually I think I'm talking some nonsense right here. That doesn't really hold true. I would have rather expected them to try and find the enemy as quickly as possible, considering the fact that they're Aztecs and Zulu. But maybe that was what they were doing. Maybe they, yeah, maybe there was maybe they expected somebody to be between them or in a different map setup. So I'm not gonna say that they're definitely playing defensively here, but we'll see. We'll see how this ends up panning out. Still, people growing. We have size 1 Incans here and size 2 Celts. So at least maybe they went for yeah, they went second worker right here, and the Incans must have gone for a settler already. I think most likely at least. Although I can't see any roads, so interesting. Interesting. Yeah, so you can see the players' lands is very much similar in this one. We have the sugars, we have the cattle and the wheat for everybody. This is a really good land. I said I would change this up in terms of oh, not quite sure what they are talking about, but yeah, in any case. Where is that Incan scout? Oh yeah, he's headed west. All right, so he's still looking more or less for his teammate. Maybe he's looking for enemies as well, but he won't find them, that's for sure. And I'm curious where the Zulu scout went, actually. Oh yeah, okay, he's up there, so all good. Incan still size 1, my god. They must have gone for a settler, but I... Oh no, they don't have any food in the capital. That's what I'm just now realizing. They opted for a very curious plan where they, yeah, they went for the river plan. I'm not sure I like that plan. They didn't see the cow down here, of course, but they saw the wheat. So that's good news for the northern team. The southern team hasn't made full, full capitalization on their godlike spawn positions, if you will. So at least they won't outgrow them immediately. It looks like now Elk is very much scouting towards the north, expecting something maybe being up there, but that's gonna cost them some valuable time. I haven't checked for Abby's Jaguars. He definitely has some out there, but it seems like they're also scouting northward with them. Yeah, and that's some unfortunate news for them. They would much rather like to expand and scout southward, I think, because with their early game sieves, that's exactly what they need. But of course, they're not aware of the enemy location. Interestingly enough, here Elk opting for the second scout. Probably a good choice. He might be able to pick that hut up. Don't think the Incans are very close to it yet, but yeah, overall still nothing too terribly wrong. And yeah, I'm kind of a bit of a shortage for words right here, simply because of the fact that we have a very strange setup, right? We have two civs that are agri, that are good at building. Of course, Incan still somewhat potent at putting out early pressure, especially on people that aren't expecting or seeing where it's coming from. So that's for sure. Did he get that hut as well? Oh no, he didn't get it. He might have moved just around the vision of it. So yeah. Interesting, interesting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 13 apart now for the Aztecs, which is very unfortunate for them. But of course, they both walked away from each other a little bit, which is not what the northern team want in this situation. Yeah. All right, let's see where these first city plans are coming out, especially for the Celts. Well, it doesn't seem like they have any population spent. Lost one scout north of me. Oh, that is sad. But what could he have lost it? Oh, to this bar camp. But he had seen that bar camp before, so I don't feel that bad about it. Maybe that's evil. Probably is. So that second scout he made, I wonder where that one went. Or maybe it probably died to this barb right here. Yeah, that's oh, never mind. There it is. All good. Still good. He's still in business. He's still gonna get that hut probably, but this barb is lingering and looking to find his prey. I'd expect the Incans to get con with their allies relatively soon. Let's go in alpha. Alright, alright. Oh, and I've also, yeah, never mind. That philosophy thing, I forgot about that, so that might be something worth talking about soon with the tournament participants. Anyways, Incans here, finally with the border expand now, able to reach that wheat, which is, it's something. One hut, but is barbarian close. Yup. Alright, he found it. He found that hut. Oh my, okay, so this is, well, this is some unfortunate news for Elk. Bit difficult to clear that hut, so I don't think he's gonna opt for it. I think he's rather going onto this hill and then scouting further southward. Finally, the southern team as well getting con with each other, and interestingly, after the early second worker here from the Celts, they opted for no settler or worker after that. Still size 5, and that's probably because they're pretty scared of the enemy civs, right? They haven't found the enemy yet. No, his teammate hasn't either, so they have no idea where the enemies are, and the enemies have two scary early game civs. Now the second settler the first settler comes out of Angemont down to size 3, so that's something at least for him. And let's see what Elk has opted to do with that hut over here. And he's decided to go for exactly the move that I was talking about, getting that hill. At least he knows that there's a hut for the take, and it doesn't seem like the Incans are about to take it anytime soon. He's also got his settler out now, and that's a very nice growth city, right? Oh my god, that's 3 food on both of these tiles. Exactly what you're looking for if you're a builder normally, but well, doesn't hurt either if you're playing the Zulu. So yeah, that's something. Still nice. This spot here over here, totally gorgeous as well. Over the river isn't as bad if you're playing as the Zulu. And yeah, it's a cow. It's a game on forest, so there's a ton of production over here. And yeah, maybe he's gonna get that for some one per turn archers later on or something. I don't know. Might be a possibility, despite the city being rather far from his home, from his capital city, of course. All right, let's take a look at where those second cities are getting planted. We have this one. Oh, it's going a bit further west. Interesting. I thought I was going to plan on the spot here, but it's not really necessary if you're playing the Zulu. And we already see the second plant here from the Celts. Guess I'm just going to plant my second city as well. Wouldn't want to lag behind in tempo. And yeah, interestingly enough, we have only 2 civs on the second city, simply due to the Incans hampering the I don't know the word, hindering their own growth, I'd say, early on by planting a bit, unfortunately there. Alright though, let's see when these guys are gonna get contact with the enemies, because that's when it's gonna get spicy over here. Especially interested in where that scout went from the Zulu. Alright, so he's going where he might go further west here between in this area, and that's not what he wants to do, but he's got a warrior coming as well, just to get some vision, I'd suppose. So that's good for him at least. And there's a jack already headed south. All right, so that's also nice for Abby. I don't think he's found that hut over here, has he? No, it doesn't look like it, but in case he finds that barb, oh, never mind, the hut is already gone. Yeah, I'm a bit slow. But still, this one is on the table, and this one, which only the northern team so far knows of. Okay, and I want to see Abby find those Celts soon, because it's always a bit boring when people are left alone to grow for a long time, but I've kind of lost track of that Jag. Oh, never mind, he's healing the Jag, so that's allowed. I won't blame him for that. Let's see where Elk's scout went. Oh, don't see it anymore. All right, he's moved further south, so that's nice. He should keep moving south, of course. Of course, that's nothing that he knows, but yeah, I just hope we get some interaction between the two teams here anytime soon. Abby rolling up there just to get that city right here, I'd assume. Pretty nice plant, of course. He's also now got that juicy cow on the river. And in his big fat cross right now. He saves them? No, he's supposed to go for masonry. Alright, maybe they're... Not sure. Oh, you need it for walls, I guess. So that's something. But yeah, with the tech being rather cheap in this modified version of MPT, you can definitely afford to do so, especially when you're not spending big on any upgrades or something like that, which, well, maybe he will, but we'll have to see. Oh, did he see the Zulu? I don't think so. Where did that scout go? Maybe he went further west again. Oh, that's interesting. Ah, there he goes. Okay, so he went down to the mountain and then westward, which is really unfortunate. He could do some real damage to the Incans right now, who are having a very slow early game phase, very slow growth. So had he just found them with that scout, that could have been trouble for SDN over here on the Incans. But, well, since that didn't happen, he'll have to, some time left to grow for himself. And again, I'm just gonna say this right here for all the viewers, or for all the participants who are maybe watching this. Not every map is gonna be set up in a square like this. It's not gonna be like, oh, I'm here and my teammates here, so we know the enemies are here and here. It's not always gonna be a square like this. Yeah, this is just these just happen to be some of the first maps I designed, and yeah, therefore it's looking a bit different there. Alright, Jaguar Warrior also going over here. They simply seem to refuse to go any further south. Possibly it's because they think the island couldn't be so long. Yeah, as noted in the chat, it is a pretty big map. Okay, so we have the second city plans out for everyone right now, including me. So happy with that. He's surviving against these barbs, which is yeah, I'm happy for him. He shouldn't get fucked by those. Of course, hut map. Oh, he got, did he get this hut now? With the warrior? Oh yeah, and it's only maps, which is unfortunate, of course. Especially with him being expansionist. Sucks for him, but there's another one here. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't think he sees him. I don't think he knows that his teammate... Oh, he did. Never mind. He saw that scout. So nice. He's able to pick up that hut. Yes, nice. I love seeing that. So they're gonna get that hut as well, and they won't be so disappointed with that. Okay, I'm interested. I really want to see what's going on with that hut over here, what he's gonna get. He might just get the first pop of this tournament, at least. First pop that I know of. We look in. Oh, interesting. So he wants to make sure they don't pop HPR. That's a good, well, I don't know, a good realization here from Abby. And Elk, luckily not taking it immediately, and now having read what Abby had to say, decides, hey, that's actually a really good plan. And here, okay. Oh, okay. So there's still no contact with people, I think. He's got that, and he's gonna get that barb unless he dies to it, which would be funny. I can't lie. But maybe Abby's about to find the Celts with his Jaguar warrior. Doesn't seem like it though. Quite sure where he's at right now. All right. Interesting, interesting. They have not found each other yet. I don't think. I don't even think they've con with each other. And all right, he did get that hut over here, so at least he got to keep his warrior. He just goes a bit further south than he might be able. Oh, he took the hut already. Never mind. he did get that warrior. Alright, but at least that's gonna mean he's gonna see more of the map earlier. So, I guess that's something. The floodplain, of course, super lucky for him that he's playing as the Celts or as an aggressive in general, and got that one with the floodplains. Yeah, there's floodplains over here for Zulu as well, but they just don't have the same effect, of course. That's some different kind of power when you're aggry. Celts over here with their third city about to plant, and Cap again on size 6, so he's just growing super quickly. Show south me with your scout. Yeah, that's that's an interesting idea, Abby. Interesting idea you got there. This area might be worth exploring. Yeah, and I think the southern team right now doing nothing to really find out what the map's looking like. I don't think they ever crossed the halfway point of it. Also, they're in Discord streaming to each other, so that's why it's asking to show screen. Makes sense. I like the coordination there. And it's third city out for the Celts. Might mean that I'm gonna play my third as well. I don't want to be left behind like that. But yeah, no, this is interesting. The Celts growing as they should, and they are growing further south, which I guess they just think it's away from the enemy, which it is. So good for him. He's growing very safely here, and he's growing along the river, but he's also growing away from his own iron. So if the Aztecs get onto him eventually, he might not be able to secure that iron. And it might just be that Abbey, or yeah, at least Team North, end up finding this iron before the Celts do, and then even with the Zulu being on the opposite side of the map, it might be a bit tough for him to get there. They might have to resort eventually um, to the iron over here, which again I don't know if they found it yet. Probably not the case for them. So yeah. Okay, so he has got the warrior pretty close. If he walks one more tile, then he'll be able to see the opponent's border. Oh, I think he already sees it over the coast tile here. His vision of that tile, so he should see the border, if I'm not wrong on this. So finally, we've established contact between some folks right here. And it's also about to find the Celts, which I don't think Abby found yet. So that's it's a good idea as well. And one more thing, this is an interesting map because if you lack some key resources, something like that, you might be able to harbor it to your teammate with this inland sea. Oop. Nope. He lost the scout here, which is unfortunate. Oh, he hasn't lost it yet. Might be able to save it. He wasn't. Alright. Poor guy. But at least we're getting somewhere with these sentries here. It's not moving that warrior yet, but yeah, I think he should see his opponent. So that's that might be some wheels in motion. And also, finally, he's found the Celts. I'm just waiting for the chat to pop up right here and tell his teammate where the Celts lock is. Celts not seeing him, of course. They don't have vision right here of that warrior. And don't think anybody's walking around here, no. So this warrior also has not found anybody yet. Shuriken Barbarian conscripts making their way over, but nobody from the opposing team. Alright. So with them growing very defensively, the distance between the opposing civs is still pretty big. Abbey with that city might consider going for a coast one pretty soon. Celts is south of you. Yup, that is the case. Andromon size 7. That is correct. Oop. Okay. And I think they have vision of each other now. Yup, that's it. Jaguar Warrior not being spotted yet, so the Celts aren't quite sure what's going on here. But maybe he's already found his iron and he's now walking that warrior over in order to take control of it. Does seem like the northern team has found the iron source over there, so even if they have iron working, they're probably not in a situation where they wanna or where they're able to block it simply because they haven't found the land yet. Unfortunate for them, of course. Alright, so they found each other here, and I think they're also about to find each other over here. That is, well, that's nice that at least both sides are now about to be aware of where the other one is. Maybe Abby can do something with that Jaguar over here, sneak it onto Entramon or something. He's not going to take the city, of course, but I'm just saying he might be able to catch a worker or something. You never know. But for the time being, he's fortified on that hill. I'm not sure what he's achieving with that, but yeah. Third city now also planted up in north for elk. Interesting. I mean, of course it's gonna plant that city, but the interesting part is that he's the one actually on the third city first out of these guys. GA, then soon barrack and send impies. That's his plan. All right, we'll see how that works out for him. I'm still both together, and it's just baffling. Okay, Swade is taking issue with the playstyle, I think, coming out here from Abby. I'm gonna read that over once more once I've done my scouting for this turn, and if I'm not too busy. But all right, here's another plan from the Incans. I'm not sure I like this plan a lot. It's just a regular plains plan, and there's really nothing here. I don't know why he wouldn't just plan south. This is very, very confusing to me. Maybe he wants to get closer to the coast, but that doesn't even make any sense. So I don't know. Maybe somebody can enlighten me on what SDN is trying to do here with that Machu Picchu plan. But yeah, he can't even go for the historical accuracy defense because it's not a city in the mountains. So yeah, interesting. Hey. Towel. Towels joined the stream. Thank you very much again for sending me that file of the game you played yesterday. I haven't gotten to download it or look at it yet, but yeah, thanks again for hosting and sending me the file. Okay, let's see what the Jaguar warrior is up to over here. Maybe he has not shown himself yet. And yeah, the Celts have found their iron, so that's good for them that they got that before the opponent. Alright. And yeah, the Zulu have finally found their way towards the enemy as well. Warrior fortified in cap, it's a start, but of course there's way more to come. Couple of workers here, he's making good use of that land, which is some nice land. But yeah, he's got mathematics as well, which yeah, I don't know if they really needed it that early. But yeah. Yeah, this is some interesting stuff. At least they have it now if they ever need some what's it called? Some catapults. Drop text, playstyle 3 apart. Oh, so I see what Swade's saying now. He so your point is that you aren't understanding why someone would play like this and then choose the Aztecs as their civ. And yeah, to that I only have to add that you can rewind the stream and go back to the civ selection. And Abi was very, very indecisive about his pick. Picked the Aztecs, then asked me if he could switch his pick, which I allowed him to do because he was the last pick. Aztecs was actually picked last here. I can show you real quick. I still have the scene from it. So that was the draft right here. It's Elk on the Zulu, then the two opposing picks, then Abby on the Aztecs, which is a bit curious, to say the least. Yeah, and he did recognize that having so many or two early game civs, no agricultural, he was a bit worried about that, but ultimately decided or told me to just start the game because he was fine with it. He did remark at the end though that it's gonna be a sore game, so maybe he's a bit tilted from the start. We'll see. Nobody forced him to play as the Aztecs though. And interestingly nice, he's now also found the Celts iron with his Jag over here, and he might be able to take it if he goes for a flip, but it doesn't look like that's what he's up to right now. Another plan coming out for the Inca. They're now ramping up their expansion speed, which I like. Of course, that's what you want to do. And this time around, he went for the better plant down at the river, which is definitely the correct play here. I'm audacious enough to claim that being the case. Alright, let me adjust my stream setup right here real quick. Alright, this should do it. Now back to the game. Celts going pretty standard right here. They have a bunch of veteran archers out already, which I'm not quite sure what he's doing with. I don't think he needs that many, considering the fact that he didn't have any sentries out. Maybe he was scared of a big stack of jacks coming. Didn't really have the vision to know otherwise. But yeah, can you tackle it? Yeah, okay, so that's something they're considering right now. Interesting, this warrior down here, not quite sure what he's doing. Maybe he just forgot to move it after fortifying it. And there's some more barbs coming over at Elky. Just can't catch a break, it seems. Alright. But it wasn't as bad this game, so it's still fine. And there are the first Impy headed south. He can really do some damage here. It's not like the Incans are terribly far apart or anything. It's not like a ton of roads to cut here, but it doesn't look like the Incans do have a lot of defense against those units, and especially with the 2-move effect, could be a bit difficult for them to interfere or to stop the Impies from interfering. Alright. That's the turn. Yeah, Abby, having recognized that he's a bit far from the opponent, immediately planting further south. He's got the horses hooked as well, so he might go for a horseman upgrade. That is a very viable play here. Celts starting to get some sentries out themselves. Of course, haven't found the opponent yet, and he must have ironworking, right? But he decides not to stay fortified on that hill, which is interesting. Doesn't feel like he needed. Maybe they found this one down here already, and they feel like that's going to be the one that they want to use, but yeah, interesting decision to give up the prio over that iron so easily. But over here on the other side, we have an Inca warrior as a sentry way up there, and he might not have been spotted, so Zulu might not be aware of this yet, but probably is, considering the fact that the MP came from up north, unless they missed each other in a very grandiose manner. Then he probably is aware of what was going on there. Let's take another look down here at how this barbarian combat resolves. I've heard some complaints about it, but yeah, no, this jack is completely fine there, so nothing to worry about really. Yeah, he's gonna get another hut, which another barb camp, which is gonna feel nice for him. But the southern team already one city. Oh no, never mind. Zulu also on 4 cities, so that's good for them. But 4 cities each, all on. Oh, never mind. This is not a freshwater source. So interestingly, Celts only 2 cities on the river. Incans only 3 on the river. When that is a pretty long river to exploit with an aggressive, but haven't opted for that. Southern teams. So yeah, no, they're instead just planting some other cities, which I'm not quite sure what they are for, especially Lugdunum. Yeah, I'm wondering what that point for, or what the point in planting that one was. Still, they do have some nice land area to themselves already. Let's take a quick look at how that manifests over in the score column. We have Incans and Celts, so that adds up to 88-78, and we have 84-79, so we have 3 score or something. They're 3 score up currently. Southern team isn't a lot, so still a lot of potential catching up to do. Now, having found their iron, I like the move from Archreaver here, sending the settler over and settling closer to that so desired resource. Good choice by him, definitely. Not sure where he's planting it. Maybe he's just gonna plant here, but no, that's terrible. That's way too far. He might plant here. This is probably a nice plant. Still on the river, still defensible, but maybe he's just gonna settle for the plant right here because he doesn't want to settle 3 apart. That might be what he's thinking about. I'm not sure. Either way, let's see if the sentries have moved up any further from the southern team. Let's see if they have any clue of the exact whereabouts of their opponents, but I don't think that is the case, actually. I don't think they've found their opponent's borders yet, although I might be lying, but no, that doesn't really look like it. And both of them, Abby and Elk, starting to roll south to put some more pressure on their opponents, as they should. Good decision by them, of course. Was already done here in Machu Picchu in the 5th plant coming out here in Corihuay Rajina, which is probably not the correct pronunciation of that city name, but feels good, so I'm just gonna say it anyway. And here the 5th plant from the Celts, again away from the river, but closer to the iron, which is, of course, the ultimate goal for Mr. Archreaver here. Can't complain. Speed up the turn time in the editor if you haven't already. Yeah. So Suede, concerning that, that is something I've talked to Hoff about. I've considered that, but in the original file that you played on at the start of the game, I had 25 planes. I had 25 recon planes. And now I've changed it in all my maps to only 8 recon planes. So that's probably way quicker times early on that way. And I'm not sure if I need to reduce the timer, because in the late game that might have a more significant effect than the detriment it's currently presenting itself to be for the early game. A couple of longer early game turns might be worth having rather similar late game turn timer lengths, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm still, of course, willing to change that that setting. I know which one you mean, so yeah, I could definitely do that, but just saying. Yeah, with that turn timer thing, not quite sure if not quite sure if that's necessary. Again, I also, at the start of your game, after a couple of turns, I disbanded most of my planes. So, yeah, I think it got a bit better then. But at the start, you're right, 25 planes just made the first couple of turns unbearable. And I did, yeah, again, I did already have a change to accommodate for that. Okay, it's a little bit of the silence before the storm right now. Abby not really going for a build right here. Still on 3 cities. It's not like he's growing very big or anything. As you were saying, he's not playing for that much scaling. He is planting pretty far apart though, and never mind, he's got another city, and this one you really have to explain to me, because I'm not sure what he's getting out of that. He's getting the fish, of course, so that's I mean, yeah, that's nice, I guess, but I don't really know if that's what you want if you're playing as the Aztecs right now. I think he could have just planted somewhere down here, further south, gotten some iron for himself, or maybe just planted coastal over here if he desperately wanted any ships. But it seems like he's gonna plant that anyways. Tons of worker moves invested in that direction. But this city up here, I mean, it's just very safe, and it does give him a lot of land area, so that's something. But oh my god, I didn't see that. Something must have gone very, very wrong for the Incans. The double disorder. He must have been stressed out by the Impy moving around in his land. And I'm gonna check right again at the start of this turn what happened to those Impy, or to that Impy, I should say. Interesting, it's still only the one MP right here, yeah, and he's not even inside his land, but still must have taken away a good chunk of his attention to make him disorder like that. Let's hope for him that this MP, oh, never mind, he's already got some catapults out. So with catapults done already, it should be very hard for the Zulu to actually pressure these Incans. And yeah, on the other side with the Celts, of course, and nobody's on them just yet, so yeah, I don't expect any trouble to come from that. Abby's elite Jaguar warrior that he had down here might also just not have arrived anywhere, or also be dead already. That could be the reality of the situation as well. Okay, he's got another one over here. He might move on to this iron soon. Would be a decent idea. And Celts now, having planted this coastal city, is a move that I also quite like. He can boat some Gallics over here to go for a surprise attack on the Zulu. But more importantly, he's expanding towards his ally, towards his second iron too. And he's got another city on the river. So I do like that plan from him. That is looking pretty good. Let's see what the Impy down here are doing. Oh, he actually managed to double move all the way behind that city, and that is only one warrior in that city. SDN does have to look out so he doesn't die against that single Impy, but finally we see the cavalry arriving, and the cavalry in this case is just some ancient black dudes with a big shield. Interesting. So the Incans do have enough units to protect all of the tiles, it seems. At least for the time being, they will be fine. But there's a bunch more Impy coming in. I think he's probably already G8, Elk is. Because he's fought some warriors up here, some sentry warriors. So, yeah. Abby did end up getting... oh, he's already G8, okay. But he did end up getting onto that mountain, onto that Iron Hill, excuse me. Already GA from Celts, no said. Yep, that seems to be the case. Alright, so we have a Chasky Scout for the Incans as well, so he might be looking to take a GA himself. That's possibly and probably what that unit is for, because I haven't seen him use any of them to scout around. That's, well, yeah, that's a curious thing. Alright, and let's keep track of those moves over here. 2 Impy at his land and more on the way. These catapults not doing a whole lot for the time being. Oh, good dodge here from Alk, actually managing to avoid that catapult shot and moving around a bit more with these Impy. Okay, he's now found that worker over here. It's getting a bit tricky here for SDN to protect all these workers that he's got. Sadly for him also, he's not been able to land any of these catapult shots yet, so that would have been a good thing for him as well, of course. But yeah, pressure slowly but surely ramping up onto the southern folks. But with the land that they have and with the prolonged time of peace and the opponents not knowing where they were, they should be fine to withstand the early aggression, at least unless they're terribly disrespectful one way or another. Yeah. I do like it though. I still like the Impies coming down here. There's definitely some misplays from SDN to be exploited if we can judge from the past couple of turns that we've watched. He's ramping up the pressure and he's got 2 workers over here. Let's see if he can succeed and disband both of them. One's already gone. The second one's struggling to hang on. That's a legend. That's an elite Impy already. Second worker is gone, and this might be SDN looking for a GA here. But both these workers are gone already, and that's a good job on Alk's part, who played a pretty good MPT just before this tournament match started, actually. So yeah, that's a GA for the Incans. Alright, he did manage to kill him with that Chasky Scout. Sadly, that's Alk's elite gone as well, but you'll gladly make that trade. 2 workers for that 1 MP. Albeit, it means that... Oh my god, what? Okay, that's an interesting choice. I'm not sure he wanted to do this. He's moved over that warrior to kill the barb, but he then reinforced with the warrior from over here. So he's a bit... he's spread a bit thin over there. Don't think that, again, don't think that he needs to be scared or anything, but he's being a bit reckless, I would say. And again, a very good player who's comfortable with his moves and with his with the judgment of his opponent can probably make these things happen. But well, SDN hasn't proven to be up to the task of really following the speed of these Impy so far. So I'm surprised that he's comfortable spreading himself so thin in the south. But at least for now, it seems like he's gotten rid of all these Impies that have bothered him down south. Let's see if there's any ships out yet from Abby. He does have the coastal plan, of course, as the only player so far, disregarding the 2 coastal plans from the Celts here in the middle. I would like them to go for some ships because, yeah, I don't want to say the same thing every game, but guys, you know how it is. We need some naval combat or at least some amphibious assault going on in this tournament. Okay, so for now, again, I'm just gonna repeat the state of the game. Celts are growing pretty scary. They probably have a ton of money with their land over here, and they have some scary cities with Elysia and Andromond, of course, being pretty big. So yeah, that's one thing to take note of. But on the other side, these Incans, despite the impies being on them for quite some time now, they are holding up fine. And just as I say that they're losing their ivory, which is of course a nuisance, I hope he won't disorder from the loss of luxury. Would be a bit unfortunate. But yeah, these impi are going down in exchange for some worker and, or I don't know if he caught a worker there, but at least for some pillaging trades. Iron colony over here by Celts. Okay, so that's the play he was going for. Abby probably thinks that there's no iron available, but knowing that there's iron over here for him, he might be able to deduce that there's also some iron source down here south. And with that now being taken, the Celts are looking pretty dang scary. Ooh, that's such a safe iron source as well. So there comes the first upgrade. All right, we see it. There come the Galax. This is a rough time for the northern team because if they're not careful, they might already be in threat of getting landed, getting surprised from the fog of war with these scary folks over here. 322. Very, very. No, well, what would I call it? Um, Punishing units at least. You would expect to be the Punisher yourself playing the Aztecs, but yeah, it's still quite early and they've already got their first upgrades going. And again, this being a very safe iron source means that uh, if you're Archreaver, you can just at will upgrade more units until you run out of warriors and gold. You can just keep unhooking that iron. Nobody's gonna take it from you, and you can just take it back and get as many of these Galaxies as you need. So yeah, there we go. He's probably trying to take GA off the Jaguar warrior, but well, he hasn't seen it yet, so only having spotted it now, I don't think he's in range to secure it. Maybe he was looking to send a settler there as well. That might be the other thing. But yeah, with that being said, these Celts upgrade. That's what he just said as well. It's 5 Galax up north, and that's already a small army to be concerned of, especially knowing there goes Abby with his own iron colony as well. So especially knowing that it's the Kelton, especially knowing that you're probably also spread a little thin here on the Aztec side. It's not too safe right now for Abbey up north. At least Elk is still completely safe because the Inca aren't coastal, so they can't even threaten him with a boat, and the Celts themselves don't have any coastal cities on the outer ocean, only in the inland sea. So that's it's no concern for Elk. He's 100% safe and can commit to sending stuff down south at the Incans, which are still struggling to defend his assaults. He's not in threat of being killed, so he's doing a good job, well, being just safe. But he has lost a couple of workers that he shouldn't have lost necessarily, and that could be an issue in a more balanced game. But of course, with the opponent barely having any building or scoring strengths in their civs, it's looking like it's going to be an uphill battle for Team North since turn 1. A very aggressive plan here from the Celts. I very much like what I'm seeing here from them. So he's gone for this plant right here, and it might look a little bit weird because he could have just planted on the river, but he's getting a nice little city with a bunch of cool stuff. But more importantly, he's just getting quicker up to the Aztecs, and at this point of the game, he's not scared of them anymore. No need to really be concerned here. Sadly, I have to add that again, that there's no boats out just yet, so yeah, guys, you could hurry up a little bit with that. But no, in all seriousness, with these Galaxy Swordsmen out now, this is a much more even battle on the Western Front, and even might even be a euphemism right now because these Celts are just big as heck. He might be able to one per turn Galax out of his capital. I don't know exactly how that works, but he's got 10 citizens and he needs 20 shields, so yeah, he definitely has the population for it. Don't know um, if he has the tile improvements necessary to do it. But yup, cannot complain about what I'm seeing from both parties right now. Still more MP coming down south. He's in no position to. Oh, interesting. He's building a big road as well. He's in no position to threaten the Celts, so he's committing full on down south, which is a reasonable thing to do here, I would say. Okay, I keep missing putting a plane over Abby's land just to see if he's got how many upgrades he's got and if he's upgraded already. But yeah, at least the barbs are gone. Woo. Well, I still had some barbs in here. I'm not quite sure what the ideal solution for that is just yet, but it wasn't near the capital, so yeah, it's pretty much you can see how we had a hut here and one camp here. Sorry, a camp here, a camp here, a camp here. So they weren't anywhere close, but they were still there from turn one. So huh, that's something, I guess. Did Archreaver pop? No. I'm pretty sure no pops. Yeah. Um, no pops, I don't think, in this game. Just letting the guys know it's 10-minute delay for the chat, so I can't interact as much as yesterday because there might have been some issues with ghosting yesterday, but just to make sure that that can't be a realistic issue, I've set the 10-minute delay because yeah, that ensures a bit more integrity, and I don't want to fuck these guys over. I just want to give them my money and yeah, have them be happy about it. Interesting over here though. It's a bunch of impies in his land already, and he's so the thing is, the thing I like about these calc placements, I've already talked at length about what I dislike about them, but the thing I like is that they're built more in a what's it called? In a straight line north-south. So that means that the front line he has against Abbey is pretty much only the northernmost city. If he covers his flanks, he's very safe about there are the swordsmen from the Aztecs, but he's very safe about being mm, excuse me, what is it? About being attacked. He has a small front line and it makes it difficult for Abbey to threaten multiple cities. It makes it near impossible, especially with the sentries he's got. He's 100% safe. Only thing Abbey could do, again, would be to boat him, but I don't think Abbey's got any ships out just for the time being. And on the other hand, over here we see the opposite. We have a more east-west planting, and that means a big front line and a big area for the Zulu to attack, and he's doing exactly that. That's exactly what he is going for. And well, he's reaping the benefits. He's getting some tile improvements, he's getting some workers down. So yeah, that is a threat. We're already 20 turns off the end of the game. That is very, very interesting. I didn't realize that. But yeah, it's nice. I might turn up the turn timer a little bit in the future, but of course that's it's just a consideration. But also I think the better way to do it would be just to have people plant closer, so the early game civs have more opportunity to show their strengths. Yeah, again, this was not. Oh, never mind. There's some combat down here, but I don't think it's the Zulu who are hitting. Yeah, no, we're all good. And we see over here the Celts are making a small push forward. I like their decision to do so. Swordsmen from Abbey are now at the front line. And yeah, these Galax are just surrounding him. Of course, he as well doesn't have that big of a front line, but ooh, is there some combat going on down here as well? Might just be the catapults, and that seems to be exactly what it is. Yeah, Zulu probably not going to be able to penetrate here and go towards the back cities either way, so yeah, that's probably fine. Let's take a look at the score as well. I'm just gonna take the calculator for it. We have 118 and 134, and the other team has 125 and 123, so it's 4 score more. The southern team is up 4 points in score. That's not insurmountable, but I feel like yeah, it might come down to score, but it's not decided yet who would win in that scenario. So that's nice. Celts, of course, still looking for a kill, and they are very much able to do so. Oh, I'm so sorry for missing that. But I think it was a drop. Never mind. Seems he just took the sword. I just didn't see the possibility of a kill acquiring him, but you saw the impies being over here, and I was so nonchalant about it because I just couldn't see him. I couldn't see him dying to that. But wow, I have to commend Elk for that. He went for a ballsy play, especially hitting the city on the hill, and he was able to punish. And that's a kill, and that of course changes the entire face of the game. And I really love that this is the game where we finally get a kill, because these Celts are able to 1v2 this. It might sound a bit ridiculous, but really, he's got the GA, he's got 1 per turn Galax in the capital, I'm pretty sure, and he's getting at least 1 per 2 turns in Alicia as well, so he's getting a bunch of Galax out right now, so he is able to threaten multiple enemies, definitely, at least provided he gets over there. In order to win this game, I don't think he needs 2 kills, I think it might just be enough for him to kill 1 guy, because he's the biggest scorer in the game, so definitely the Inca. Trading the Incan score for any of the other 2 guys' score would be worth it for him. Sadly, though, it was the size 1 city which was destroyed by Elk, and that means that, well, yeah, there's no easy retake for the Celts. Oh, that turn took a while to flip. I'm not sure why that was. I hope it wasn't a turn skip. No, it wasn't. We're at 18 turns now, so it's all good. But yeah, there definitely needs to be some action coming out from the Celts right now. I love to see it, really. And now with this jack, with this impy, they're starting to move towards the eastern front as well, and that means that the Celts cannot commit for all-out assault. Still a bit bummed out about missing that kill, but well, well, well. Well, this is a nice development. Again, I like this being the first kill of the tournament, or not the first of the tournament, excuse me, the first on my stream here, because there is a realistic possibility that the Celts pull this one out of the hat. They might be able to just find the magic trick required to win this one. Still would like to see some boats out from Abby, but it's fine. It's fine. He doesn't need to if he doesn't feel like it. And yeah, this is not over yet. I refuse to believe it. He just needs to live and kill 1 enemy, and he should be fine. At least if he kills Abby here anytime soon, that would be a real game changer for him. But of course, he is on the back foot now. He's definitely not favored to win this. And yeah, it really shows. He's started to move in up here. So Abby didn't keep track of all the Galax in his land. Bit difficult. There seems to be a stack movement going on right now because I can't use my planes as I normally would. Alright, and there's a bunch of combat happening right now, but not in the critical areas, it seems. A bunch of swordsmen here from Abbey, and he's getting his road cut. He was not quite able to defend that up here. I hope that wasn't due to lag, because as far as I can tell, the speed of the game, not what's it called? My God. The lag has been very minimal in this tournament so far. I feel like my setup has been able to handle everything quite well. If somebody has other experiences, please feel free to tell me, but I feel like we didn't have any real drops occurring besides that one from cheese or something, but yeah, we should be all good so far in this tournament, so that's yeah, so that's something. Okay, and it looks like there's not a bunch of Galax up here on Abbey for the time being, but at least they're making it very difficult for him to feel comfortable, considering the fact that he just got flanked from a side that he wasn't expecting to get flanked from, I don't think. So, yeah. Celts now having lost their iron to the assault of impies coming over from Elk, so they're currently not able to produce any more Galax. The good news is that he can just colony this iron up here, and funnily enough, this is the much safer iron anyway for the time being. I like the choice, again, to colony these luxuries. That's what I said yesterday. I think he only did it to be able to road through there and surprise Abby, so Haha, you're gonna laugh at me. But I really like people who colony luxuries in MPT, or at least in games that they expect to go to score. And we can very much expect most of these tournaments games so far to go to score. So, yeah, so that is a nice choice, colonying that stuff. He is looking a bit startled right now. He's not got like he doesn't have like a big stack at Abbey, and all these units are in Abbey's vision as well. So he's not building up any threat right now. Abbey can very much tell what's going on so far up here, but he has more and more Galax streaming over, of course. So despite him showing all of them to Abbey, he's still building up some pressure just by, of course, sending stuff up here. There's a Barbarian Galley up here, so nice to see, but I think that's the only noble unit I get to see this game. Abbey having another settler on his way, so that's a good choice, still looking to bolster his score. And the Celts, well, on their own, they're gonna have to find a solution for this problem soon as possible. Alright. Alright. Oops, I accidentally tapped out. Okay, so they're definitely making sure that this iron doesn't go back over the Celts. Celts have started roading this one though, so they should be able to colony it within 2 or 3 turns. And up here, they're moving into Abbey's land. Sadly, this land is very hard to penetrate for any army. It looks like the Ardennes in 39, so yeah, not the best way to go through with these mobile units. Other than that, though, on the eastern front, it seems pretty safe as well for the Celts. So it doesn't look like he's getting pressured too hard from both sides. But maybe I'm lying here, actually. Maybe, nah, it's all good. He's got some nice sentries out with these archers. He's gonna see anything. He's gonna see anything that comes over to him. He's got the road finished over here. Let's see if he's also got the worker. Oh no, so it's gonna take one more turn for him to get that, or 2 more turns, I should say, to get that iron hooked and keep the production up. I think he only GA'd 1 or 2 turns before the 20 started, so this GA is gonna be pretty nice and last almost until the end of the game. But yeah, we have some colonies coming out here from the Zulu, and being as safe as they are, they can now full on score pump. I would expect their score to overtake the Celt score even before the end of the game. That might be a realistic possibility here, just because of how much land they still have left to explore and settle. Yeah. Okay, but over here, oh no, he's actually got the worker onto the iron, so he's gonna pick up the production of Galax again next turn. 15 Galax here is what Abby says, and there's more on the way, my friend. I'm afraid to tell you that's not everything, my guy. Huh. Okay. He's gonna have to be careful here. The Galax have started moving forward, and let's see where they are hitting. I think they're trying to contest the Iron Colony. Yeah, they're hitting Abby's Iron Colony. I'm not sure that that's the best thing he could use them for, so I think he's... My god, that's a bloody fight. I'm not even sure he's winning that. Oh my god, that's disaster. I think that's almost game deciding already. He's used at least half of his Galax just to contest Abby's iron on a hill? Oh my god, and it's a great leader as well. Oh, it's such a disaster right now for the Celts. They did not take into account how difficult it would be to take this one with the hill defense bonus, with the 2 defense units and the archers on it. He just full on underestimated what Abby could muster there. So that was a big misplay. He's lost at least half of his Galax again to this attempt of taking the iron. And what does he gain from it? I'm still not sure what he was looking for with that kill, because even if he unhooks the enemy's iron, he's still gonna have to kill a city in order to win this game. So yeah, that probably wasn't play. Interested to see what the chat will say about that, but um, is a bit of a curious decision, if I might say so. Hmm. Huh. All right. imp is starting to come over here and cross the mountains right now. So elves are gonna pressure this home as well, at home as well, excuse me. And they're still not able to really get anything done here on the offense. This iron colony is not gonna fall, by the way. These 3 spearmen are gonna make it impossible for him to kill that. So, yeah, poor guy, but you're not gonna kill this. Yeah, here are the spearmen and the elite swordsman as well, making it so Abby walks away victorious with his leader from that fight, and probably also victorious in this game. It seems it's really difficult for the Celts to get anything off right here. They're being pressured now and at home as well. They're gonna have to worry about all these impies coming over here. Maybe Elk ends up getting the ace, getting the double kill. Who knows? But yeah, Celts, you think you just blew a good chunk of your load and didn't really get anything for it. So, good luck with that. Okay, so he had the Great Leader right here last turn, and I think the Great Leader has 2 moves, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He maybe just moved it into his cap. That would be a reasonable thing to do. Let's see over here how these guys are expanding. There's some luxuries that they could still hook, and they've colonied the iron as well, so that's simply for fun, because he's never gonna get any oh, never mind, he might get some boats out here, actually. I was gonna say he's never gonna get any swordsmen over to the Celts anyways, but that might have been wrong, actually. He could get a boat out, and just with two or three boats, get some swordsmen onto the Celts. Sadly, they aren't very coastal, so it's gonna be difficult for him to get any kills with that, but at least he's gonna force the Celts to leave some more units at home, and that's gonna make it, well, hard for them to kill Abbey if they've already lost a bunch of their attacking units, and if they're already, yeah, if they're already getting pressured from 2 sides anyway. That 3rd front might just be the tipping point that makes him collapse. Let's see what that imp is up here first. Let's see if Archreaver actually got Prior over that mountain. He might be able to move on to this mountain this turn, but he's not done so yet. He's still moving the units over here, which I find a little bit curious. Elk moving in here with the MP is something I like to see. Okay, but as it stands still, there's more MP coming over. So this settler up here, not quite sure where he's gonna plant, but not gonna be that easy to find a safe spot for it. Let's see anything naval going on. Just gonna scout here so that I see any ships if they come down here. I don't really expect them to send any, but yeah. This volcanic island is something I added at the last minute to this game. I thought it would be fun, but yeah, maybe that opens up a crossing for Elk that Archreaver doesn't quite expect. And yeah, these impies coming over here now from the east, and again those from up north. It's a pain in the ass to deal with them. Even if you're the Celts and you have quick units yourself, you don't want to use these Galaxies to clear up these impi. You want to use them to kill somebody up north, somebody playing the tax in a playstyle that Swade does not approve of. But yeah, that's not the point. The point is that it's gonna be difficult for him to get anything off right now. I think he's really thinking hard about what to do with this and where to strike, because frankly it's not looking very good. He's got his big stack over here now, but it's in full vision of Abby, and he doesn't even make any attempt at hiding it, which is quite curious. Elk is going for the play onto this road though, so I would very much like to see how that one plays out. He did defend it, alright, that's good from Archreaver, securing his supply chain and also securing the colony, which is of course the grand prize. Aren't I right? Yeah, no, but he's starting to clear up these impies over here. That's good for him. I approve of that decision. No boats on his coast just yet, and more Galax streaming up north. Any impy in the south of his land? Nope. Okay, so he's completely fine there. He's about to plant another city, get some more score up, but doesn't look like he's got access to any more luxuries. This one is far gone now that there's a African army marching in. And speaking of armies, I'm surprised not to see Abby's great leader being used yet. Maybe he's just gonna parade it in Archreaver's land or something, but no, to be serious about it, I expected him to make an army in Tenochtitlan land. Oh, and speaking of, that is some beautiful magic going on right here. Abby helping me out there in the last second. Here's the army, and this one with 2 moves is pretty much like a Gallic army, not like a Gallic army, but just like a regular Gallics. And well, of course, having a bit more hit points than a regular Gallic, it means that Abby does outlast all of them in a prolonged fight. He's moving the army over, and I think he's gonna use it to clear out the units from this mountain, which I quite like because these Gallics are very much able to penetrate through here, and he's actually going for it already. He's starting to move in with his Gallics, and he's getting hit. No, never mind, he's not getting hit. He is the one hitting, actually. I do like to see that. He's moving in, but I think he's gonna get a whole lot of swordsmen thrown at his face before he's gonna be able to pull anything off. These impies also now moving into his land, and I think this is a really dire situation for him. He's forced to commit a lot of units at home just to contain this stack of defensive units right here, just standing on his tiles and starting to pillage, starting to cut roads. I think he just hit them, interestingly enough. So yeah, and he's having a lot of success. Actually, only 3 impies left on that tile. That's good news for him, but bad news is doesn't see. Oh, look at this. Oh, how beautiful is this? This is somebody who has understood the game. He has understood what he's supposed to do. He plants here, gets the gems, and he's probably not going to be able to hook them anymore until the end of the game. But the spirit is what counts. And on the front right here, he's doing a good job defending as well. There's another Gallic stack over to that colony. And even if he takes it, I mean, who cares? Who gives a dang about that Aztec iron colony? Don't think any of the players in this game, besides Archreaver, do give one. So, well, there is that. And Abby possibly losing his colony, definitely winning the war up here, unless he commits any great blunders. Celts with the first coastal settlement of their own, at least as far as the outer ring of water is concerned. Probably not going to be able to pull off any plays with that, since it's a bit late to send any boats out, if I might say. Let's see if he gets the iron colony at least, since that seems to be the grand prize he's after. Hasn't actually hit it yet, so with Abby's cat burning, maybe that's not the current focus of things. He's instead clearing out right now the impies in his land. Are there any more coming? Doesn't look like it. So after finishing these off, he's finally got 9 turns left to breathe freely. Although I don't think that's gonna matter a whole lot, because just to repeat it, Aztecs definitely have more score than the Incans at the end of the game, even if they die right now. And the Zulu are gonna overtake the Celts eventually, so just that one kill on Abbey isn't gonna do it anymore right now. He would have had to find it a lot sooner, and probably just at the time that he attacked the Iron Colony to no avail. So yeah, that seems to be a tough task for him right now, to find any kills anymore, and he needs 2 of them, so good luck with that, Mr. Archreaver. Yeah, this is looking a bit difficult for you. But of course, I'm not blaming him for this. He did play the early pretty nice, grew very safely, didn't plant the cities ideally, in my opinion. Lugdunum is curious plant. Richborough is a very curious one. And Verulanium, well, could have been planted a bit earlier, I think. But in any case, he did play the early pretty nice, did lead and score for a very long time, and still does, until eventually he's gonna get overtaken by the Zulu over here. But yeah, as things stand, he was a bit let down by his teammate maybe, but of course, being a decent team, that should not deter him from coming back strong in the next round of this tournament. He's now moving in with his Gallic stack, okay. Don't think he's in range of any cities right now, no. So he's on a tile where he can't attack anyone from. And Abby maybe expected him to hit the Iron Colony again, but of course that couldn't have been his plan, since yeah, the Iron Colony is not gonna win you the game. And yeah, he's now moved in. So from this tile, the interesting thing about this move is that Abby currently doesn't know which city is gonna get threatened. There's 3 cities that he could hit. So he's probably not gonna hit the front city, right? There's the most units usually in there. It's got walls. But the other 2 cities effectively have walls as well, being size 7 or higher. So actually, that's not very true that the front city is to be ruled out immediately. Another city planted very aggressively shows the commitment of the Celts to still keep on trying some stuff out. This elite, sadly not having produced a leader, isn't quite as impressive as Abby's swordsman on the colony over here. There we are. Nice little marker right there, but I like where this game stands right now. It is looking very tough for the Celts, but they do have the stack in the enemy land, even if it's probably not enough anymore to win the game of it. It might just yield a kill. And Abby's actually not got any of these tiles improved, so he doesn't have the luxury of simply blocking them off. These Celts could move onto this hill, or onto this hill, and each of those 3 would threaten a different city. So this one would be terrible. Shouldn't move on this hill. So he's either moving on this and hitting this city, or he's moving on this and then threatening these 2 cities. He's now moving downwards onto Tlatelolco, so he might just commit this stack down here as well. No, he's instead threatening 2 directions. I like this play, and let's focus in on what's going on here at the start of this turn. He's probably looking to cut the road right now and then move onto these 2 cities at the same time. He's now found the army of Abby up here, and he's starting to move in south. He's cut the roads to Tlatelolco, but he doesn't. Probably maybe he's got some reinforcement to threaten the city with. Doesn't look realistic though. So now with this stack being fortified on that hill and Abby unable to reach it since he does not have any roads leading up to that hill, he's bought himself some time to think about what the next move is gonna be here. Again, he needs to find a kill. He probably needs to find 2, but for the sake of simplicity, let's just say he needs to find a kill here, and he's got these units at his disposal. These are almost gone already, but Abi can't really commit a lot of units to clearing them Galax out down here, because in that case these 15 Galax, or what they are, up here could wreak absolute havoc. The good thing about planting far apart like Abby did right here, this might sound stupid, but usually if you're in a spot like this, you can double move end of turn far back into the enemy land and threaten some empty cities. But that's not something that's possible right now for Archreaver, because he doesn't know this, but if he moves 2 up, he still can't hit any of the other cities right now. Abby's planted so far apart that it's impossible for Archreaver to threaten 2 different lines of cities at the same time. So yeah, he could have still moved through, and it would make it more difficult for Abby to move after him. But that's not really a concern here, because if he ends up committing this stack into Abby's land, he should have a really easy time cleaning it up with just some archers and his army. So I don't think there's a good obvious strategy, obvious way for Archreaver to force a kill here onto Abby, simply because of how interestingly the land is constructed. He's now gone for the double move south, so he's threatening 2 cities at once still, but he's clearly going for Tlatelolco right now, or so I thought, because he's now getting attacked from Abby as well, at least in a minor way. Catapults being moved over, and he's moved back onto the hill. Let me think about what he just did. So he's committed a few units just to move down here, and I think he's cut this road again, so that might have been a win for him. But now he's got no more moves left on these guys here, and I think he's lost 2 of them maybe. So yeah, that is unfortunate. But in return, he did get the road cut down to Tlatelolco, so it might just be a game of patience right now for him in order to yeah, to find a kill here. No ships showing up at his coast right now means that he's not gonna be worried about being attacked anymore. Zulu pretty much don't have anything streaming at him anymore as well. So he's gonna be fine in the east. The only thing right now that's of concern to him is how to get that kill onto Abby. He's completely safe in all other spots. Huh. Okay, this is looking interesting. Simply, not in terms of who's gonna win, because that's pretty much done at this point. But I'm really curious to see how Archreaver is actually gonna play that one out onto Abby. We're now starting to move his spearman closer to that Gallic stack, so he's probably just trying to contain it and force it into a certain direction. But yeah, Archreaver making some small moves of his own. Still, if he thinks he can kill that Tlatelolco, that southern city right here, with these reinforcements that he's got coming, that means that he needs to make sure that Abi cannot commit a lot of units down south. Abi now having moved his army out of his cap to clear out a couple of these Gallics right here. A good move by him. That's some free kills, because these Gallics can't move anymore this turn. It's got to be a little bit careful at the start of next, though, not to get hit by them at any of the crucial points here, but that doesn't seem to be what Archreaver is going for right now. Cap burning for Abby, that's a small victory for Arch, but not one that's gonna win him the game, so I need to see more from you, my guy. He's streaming all the units up here onto Tlatelolco. He's trying to get them maybe connected with his big stack right here, but the bad news is that he had this Gallic on these tiles trying to cut the road, but he instead moved away simply to defend himself against that army of Abbeys. Maybe he's using that stack to kill the army off right now. It's gotten a little bit low, so that might be an enticing bait for him to go in, but instead Abbey realizes the danger and moves it back into his capital just to be safe. This cap burning might actually be an indication as well that there only was the army in there. Maybe that was the happiness, the military police happiness, that actually forced the cap into a burn. So maybe there was an angle to punish right there, as long as the army wasn't in. And if Abi was a little bit slow, that could have been an angle, but of course it's not too likely, and I don't have a huge problem with him not going for that coin flip right there. Right, let's check again the seas here, but no boats on the coast. Means that Celts is probably going to be safe, and they don't have any boats out themselves, so we don't need to really look at that, I don't think. Just to make sure though, let's see if there's anything going on right there. Nope, nothing either. Alright, so all the action is concentrated in Appy's land right now. That makes it rather easy for me to just follow along with my scouting. Okay, turn is about to end, and there's still a bunch of Galax left to move. He's moving in a couple right here just to see where these roads lead. I think he's going for a double move top or something like that. To north. Yep, that's exactly what he's looking for, but he's gonna be very disappointed when he finds out that there is not any city near enough for him to hit. Maybe he's just gonna go back onto that hill. That's what I expect him to do right now. He's figuring out if Abi's got any more cities anywhere close, but he's now forced to realize that there's just nothing he can hit right now. This army clearing out more and more Galax, and now in a little bit of a panic, he's decided to move up these Galax 2 more tiles just to be safe from that army. Maybe that's what he was thinking about right there, but with that move, he's now only threatening 2 cities. At least he's gained vision of Texcoco, so yeah, he's aware of a city being there and of him being able to threaten it. That's good news for him. Other than that, yeah, these Galax are a bit low. Oh, and he's hit Tlatelolco down there. Maybe I've missed it. Maybe that was a bigger stack fighting right there, but no, maybe he also just got hit from there. I don't think he actually attacked it. That was my bad, I think. And Abby now realizing that there's only 2 cities that are threatened by these Galax. It's either Teotihuacan or Texcoco. And Texcoco, despite being on a hill, is not that well defended. No walls around it, and probably not a lot of units. So Abby's now moving all these units across the river. If the Celts are able to, I don't know, somehow kill this army or something, then he might be able to hit Teotihuacan with the units right here, because all these guys on the other side of the river are not going to be able to get back into the city in time. I don't think Abby's that low on units in the city though, so yeah, I don't really think it's killable, but there might be an avenue for him to do it. Let's see, as the turn is about to flip, what these Galax are deciding to hit. He's gonna have to hit soon, so I expect him to do that at this point. And he's still not moved any. He's taken the city over here. Well, that's unfortunate. I should have, well, okay. Nice kill, I guess. Nice job. But he wasn't this tired. Oh no, he moved up from the capital, right? Those galaxies that he had right here, he must have just moved them up into Talashkala. And therefore, Abi probably wasn't expecting it. Probably moving a bunch of units more over in that direction. But very curious kill. I'm sad I didn't quite catch where that was coming from. Was expecting the big stack up here to do most of the damage, but nice kill to pull off for Archreaver here. He's gonna get equalized in score eventually by the Zulu, I think, but yeah, let's take a quick look at how big the score discrepancy is. It is pretty big. Yeah, I don't have the con with all the people, so that's unfortunate. Should have gotten con with them before they died. Yeah, I can only see their scores, all right. Huh. Okay, good then. So he's gonna try to get these Galax over. It's not gonna be enough. 3 turns. That's 1, 2. Yeah, he's not in range to hit anything. So I don't really see him pulling this one off in any way, shape, or form. But at least he got the kill onto Abby. I respect that. He's moved the units a bit curiously, but he was successful in the end. And yeah, it was a nice effort by him after all. Let's see what he does with these Galaxies. I assume he's just gonna run them straight east and try to find anything that he can hit, which is of course nothing. But that he doesn't know. That's just what we see from this observing perspective. Don't think there's any ships around still, so just making sure, but it's what it looks like. A bunch of... Did he have some swordsmen in here? Interesting choice, because there's not really anything to hit, but maybe he expects the Cals to send some Galax his way. It's not gonna happen, of course, because he's forced to send everything at Abby, and finally having succeeded, he doesn't have the gas left in the tank anymore to get over to the Zulu. Zulu have now spotted his stack as well, but of course he knew that was gonna come, but the Celts don't quite know how far it is until Zululand. Ah, unfortunate for him. He did find the kill in the end. I didn't believe him in it anymore, but he did pull it off, so I gotta respect that. Just too sad that it's a little bit of a it's a little bit too big of a map for him to be able to run from this place to this place within 3 turns, so barely not enough for him. Gotta commend the effort. He's gonna face off against the first line of impies right now, or at least at the start of next turn. Still being forced to move all these guys east. Elquijote interestingly committing everything to try to stop this assault, which is probably a good move, but doesn't matter anyway, so I think he knows that and is just moving his units for the heck of it. 2 turns left in this one. Does not leave Archreaver with enough time to find any finishing blow. Let's see how these fights turn out here. He's sending his Galax at the impies. To what avail? Probably to none. Yeah, his stack is already pretty low in size, and these impies are not making it easy for him to get through. Last turn in the game. And the MP are holding firm. Unlucky for Archreaver. He did put up a valiant effort. I'm not gonna criticize his gameplay all too much. Good job on the kill, but he seems to GG. And as soon as he leaves, I'm gonna do the same. But I want to give the guys the opportunity to fight it all out. Alright, he's got his Galax winning the battle, but losing the war ultimately against Elquijote on the Zulu and Abhimanyu on the Aztecs. The short end of the stick goes to the Celt-Inca combo, interestingly, which we thought was very strong early on, but did not end up pulling through. And so, after all, he falls, and so did the Inca a little bit earlier, when going over to the Zulu. And again, nobody believed in this Zulu-Aztec combo on this big of a map winning the game, but with the surprise kill on the Inca, it simply was too much for Archreaver to handle. And despite him getting that late kill onto Abhi, couldn't pull it out in the end. One final look at the seas just to see if there's not any Celtic galleys making a final landing and getting that last kill. In the end though, even his Galax all killed off, and with this turn slowly taking over. Although my prediction is wrong that the Zulu were gonna overtake the Celtan score, it's still enough for them to win the war in the end. We are disgraced, but very much not disgraced are Elk and Abby, having found the win here, and of course no disgrace either on the side of Archreaver and SDN. They had a decent strategy. They built quite nicely and hung on nicely, but then SDN with the unfortunate end against the Zulu assault and his MPs. So good game. Thanks for playing again to these folks over here. I'm gonna show you guys the draft once more if you're interested in which order the stuff was picked. Right there you can see it. Elk picking the Zulu first, then SDN and Archreaver responding with their 2 picks, and Abby finally with the Aztecs. Very interesting last pick. Abby was very pessimistic about his pick here. In the end, was almost about to switch it, and then begrudgingly went into the game with the Aztec Zulu combo, but ended up winning the game. So kudos to them. I'm looking forward to many more games. One is already confirmed for tomorrow at 10 a.m. EST, I think. That's what's it called, 4 p.m. at German time. So I'm gonna see you guys then. And for now, I'm gonna head off. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the tournament as we're slowly improving stream quality, game quality, map quality, and yeah, see you guys tomorrow.